Just before we get the weather, commuters are being warned that major disruption to trains in and out of St Pancras International will continue until tomorrow. Thameslink trains are only running one service an hour after a tree fell on overhead power lines yesterday. And on that note, Storm Eunice is on the way. Let's get the latest from Elizabeth Rizzini.
Hello, good afternoon. Storm Eunice is set to hit the capital tomorrow. This is going to be a very powerful storm indeed, possibly one of the strongest that we've seen across the London area for many years. The wind gusts will be a lot higher than they were yesterday for Storm Dudley, when we saw them peak at just over 50 miles an hour. Instead, tomorrow they could start to escalate to 70 to 80 mile an hour gusts, peaking round about lunchtime, and then the winds will taper off as we head towards the end of the day. The storm spins off out into the North Sea. There is an amber Met Office weather warning in force, valid from 5 o'clock tomorrow morning right through until 9 o'clock in the evening. This is the second highest level of alert. Expect to see significant disruption, damage to power lines, structural damage, plenty of travel problems out there, and lots of flying debris too.
Hello, good evening. I'm afraid we are very concerned about the arrival of Storm Eunice tomorrow. It's likely to be the worst storm we've seen in recent years. So we have got an amber warning of wind in force. We're looking at gusts of 60 to 70 miles an hour and potentially even a bit more than that. Now, these numbers are very much enough to cause some severe disruption. So we are concerned about trees falling, power lines coming down. We could see damage to buildings, we could see roofs blown off, and ultimately, of course, there is a danger to life.
Good evening. Every expectation is we have a powerful and dangerous storm bearing down on the UK. A red warning from the Met Office. That means a danger to life, danger to property. If you have any sort of travel plans over the next 24 hours, worth having another think about those. This hook of cloud on the satellite picture is our developing storm system, and on the southern flank of this low, as it slides eastwards over the next 24 hours, that is where we have the potential for some really damaging winds. This red warning from the Met Office, gusts of up to 90 miles per hour for coasts of southwest England and South Wales. Damage, disruption, coastal flooding quite likely. And then this broader amber warning with the potential for gusts up to 80 miles per hour, even for inland spots. That is quite unusual. Certainly, it could cause some big issues. And as we head through the early hours into the first part of Friday, the winds will really start to pick up. We're expecting gusts of 80, 90 miles per hour around some of these coastal areas, with very rough seas as well. Stormy conditions, big waves, coastal flooding looking quite likely. Those strong winds working further east. Look at some of those inland gusts up above 70 miles per hour. That is pretty unusual. Further north, it won't be as windy, but we will see some disruptive snow in places, especially across Scotland, potentially up to 30 centimetres of snow over high ground, but some accumulations to low levels too. Could be blizzard conditions for some, snow that could cause power cuts, and certainly some travel problems. Temperatures, least of our worries really, but it will be a cold day in the north where that snow is falling. Quick look at the weekend forecast. It turns a little bit calmer, still quite wet, still quite windy, could hamper any clear-up operations, but it's the next 24 hours that look disruptive and potentially dangerous. Rita.
Good evening to you. Severe weather expected as the week draws to a close. Extremely stormy in the next 24 hours. We've got numerous amber warnings issued to be taken seriously, as well as a rare red warning issued for the southwest of England. Here we've got a risk of coastal flooding, big battering dangerous waves, and gusts near 90 miles an hour, posing a danger to life. Storm Eunice is certainly not your run-of-the-mill storm. It could well be our worst storm for over 30 years as it tracks its way in from the mid-Atlantic and affects us nationwide across all of the UK in the coming 24 hours. We will see widespread disruption as the week draws to a close. In the meantime, dry, calm conditions to start the night before things go downhill from the west and that storm rolls in. Several hours of wet and, for some of us, wintry weather to come. Blowing snow and blizzard-like conditions across Scotland, Northern England and Northern Ireland. The rain making some headway from west to east through the course of the morning, and the winds really the focus as they ramp up through the course of the morning. Initially for the west before transferring their way eastwards. Gusts near 90 miles an hour across the southwest for a time, with coastal flooding and big battering waves. For the rest of us, 70 to 80 miles an hour as we head through the afternoon, damaging as well as dangerous gusts of wind for all of us as we head through the course of Friday. Staying wet and wintry across parts of Scotland and northern England. Elsewhere, clearer skies, but those winds remain our focus well into the latter stages of the day. See you soon.